Hey everyone, welcome back to the stream. Welcome back to my channel and another video. Today we are working on this guy right there. That is the 1/35th scale Tiger 1 by Tamiya, mid-production. First thing I need to address from my last video, part 1, was assembling the wheels. Okay, started assembling the wheels. Now I showed you guys basically building one of each, right? And then I was doing some test fitting to see how they're all going to go on here. And I apologize in advance for the airplanes. They're taking off like crazy today. Yeah, I almost need to stop talking and just let them take off and then whatever. But anyway, I wanted to deal with this because this is the front idler wheel. Okay, and these go on the front, and we've got the sprocket right there, or drive wheel. Actually, the idler wheel is on the back, so these are front drive. Luftwaffe are flying above, providing air support. Yeah, thanks. So we've got the drive sprocket on the front, and then we've got all these road wheels. And so the instructions show us putting these drive sprocket together, the idler wheel, and then these road wheels, which are sandwiched together nice and tight. Okay, and then these other road wheels. And I'll show you the little section of me putting them together yesterday, right here. Okay, and same kind of deal, these go together, but these are spaced apart. Just like that. Well, I did it wrong. I put them all together wrong, and I realized when I was putting this all together, they weren't lining up, and I was like, what the heck is wrong with this? And so I wound up going on YouTube and just did a search on other guys building this kit and how they're situating their wheels, because I was wondering, am I putting them in the wrong spots? Because there's a lot of friggin' wheels on this thing. Like, if I just show you that angle there's a lot of wheels to line up. Okay, and yeah, and so I was thinking, am I putting them in the wrong order? Is something messed up? And as it turns out, I was actually assembling these ones backwards, as you could see in the video clip I just showed you. I was putting the little peg into that slot and basically creating a wheel, something like this, and that's totally wrong. They have to go like this. Well, not these two, these are separate, but yeah, so they don't squish together and match exactly like these. There is a little bit of a gap. If you grab one, they are different. There's a little bit of a gap in between them. But yeah, I did it wrong. So I wound up fortunately I caught it before all the glue had really set in, and I was able to kind of just twist them and pull them all apart. And then I took a little drill bit, because the glue had kind of started to melt the plastic on the inside, so they weren't fitting on the axles properly anymore. So I took one of my little drill bits, this guy here, just went in there and just kind of cleaned it up a little bit, and then test fit, and we're all good to go now. So the wheels are done. Now I gotta pick these ones up that fell on the floor. Wherever they went. Are almost matching my carpet color. I know more than one fell down, but it's not that important anyway. We'll worry about that later. So that was my ordeal with the wheels yesterday. Okay, so that's them. Now obviously not glued on. I think what I am going to do, thank you airplane. I think what I'm going to do is take a piece of styrene and put it in between the wheels on each one of these so that I can glue them together as one assembly. So if I just take, I don't know, I've got some extra stuff here. I could just take this little rod and just cut it into little, 1 or 2 millimeter thickness, glue them on there, like on each spot, like there, and I could paint it black to kind of hide it in there, just so that I can actually glue these together and have them come off as one big bunch of wheels, and just make life easier when it comes to actually putting the track on. Maybe. I haven't gone 100% on that idea yet, but it's something I'm thinking of. I've got my sprocket here so that it kind of balances when I put it on its side. Anyway, so that's kind of the idea I'm thinking about for that. I'm actually just going to take these all off right now. And yeah, so next, according to the instructions, see, they want you to glue all these on and have them all on, but then we're nowhere near assembling this thing yet, right? So next, dealing with the tracks. So Tamiya is nice enough to give you these little alignment things to align the tracks, and they're useless. They are, really. All you do is just sit them down like this, and you put the track beside it, and that's all it is. And so what is that going to do for you? That's going to make sure that the track is straight. That's really the only thing. They kind of hint at it looking like maybe the track goes into these pegs to align that up or something, but there's nothing. It doesn't, there's nothing. So all these do is help you to keep the track straight, which you could just do with any ruler, anything like that. You really don't need these things at all. So I started putting some of these pieces together. I spent basically the whole afternoon getting my 200 pieces of track all done. Now Tamiya gives you more, so I have another sprue here, or it's half. I've cut the half off with another 40 pieces of track here. Now there are some pieces that go around the hull, or not the hull, the turret and stuff like that, so I already know I'm probably going to need another 5 or 10 off of this. But after trimming them off, I got the little bit of a nub on two nubs on each one, and so I needed to clean those off. And so I started off on a few of them using my knife and just cleaning them up on these two little spots here and here. But then I thought, that's just being a pain in the neck. So I grabbed my razor glass file, the one thing I keep using on all my Gundams to clean up the nubs, and just kind of went over it like this, and boom, cleaned them up nice. And so I just sat there watching TV, doing that. Still hurt the heck out of my fingers holding on to these little things. But yeah, I'm just complaining now. Anyway, they're done. So basically, it's as simple as put a couple of spots of glue on them and put them together right way around, like that, and you're done. And all you got to do is make sure they're straight and flat, and they're not doing this. You don't want them wavy, right? So what I find is the easier way to do it is I'll take two pieces, just two sections like that, glue those together, make sure they're nice and straight and flat, and then leave them and let it dry completely. Because your pieces after this are much easier to line up and get straight. So I'll show you that right now, once you actually have them put together. And as you notice, I've got a few here assembled. Did I thought I had 4. Oh, there we go. They were together. So I'll just show you now. I'm going to change my glasses out. And I will show you. Take the glue. I'll change the camera so you can see a little bit better. Okay. So, take this. This is the side that we're going to glue, okay? Now that's glued on there. And now all we have to do is just press down on it, give it a little bit of pressure to make sure it's straight, and that's now perfectly flat and straight, just like that. So grab another one. This. Do that. Some pressure down to make sure it's flat. Done. Let's do this one too. Like that. Now press down to make sure it's flat and lined up. And there you go. And so you just go over and over and over, and just keep going and going and going until you get to the length that you want. So there you go. So that's basically it for the tracks. Okay, so that's, I'm not going to bore you guys watching me put 200 pieces of track together. So having measured this out, I was actually looking at this. If we take one wheel here, and this isn't the wheel that goes there, we want that wheel there, and the same wheel is going to go here, 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 okay? And then we have a different one that's going to go here. That's going to be this one, I believe, will go like that, okay? And then we got our drive sprocket, which goes here, okay? Anyway, so we've got points here and here that the track is going to be perfectly straight. Tamiya is kind of nice enough that this thing pretty much matches the length of track that you're going to need that's going to be perfectly flat. Okay, so I know that I need to make at least 2 lengths of track that are about this long. So that's a good guide. I know I can do this, just put it here and keep building and adding pieces until I get to maybe just a little bit further back than this, and I know at least twice that's going to be for the ground, the bottom part, that's going to be perfectly flat. Am I going to do the same for the top? I might do one side. Like I said, my whole plan for this is supposed to be like this tank has taken some damage, and maybe the track has been blown apart on one side and is actually hanging off or something like that. It's no longer fully assembled. That's my vision for this. And so I know I need at least two lengths to go along the bottom. As for the top part, I might do 1, so maybe I need 3. That's kind of what I'm thinking about, right? But that's about it. So, since I'm not actually going to bore you guys by making you watch me assemble all this, we're going to move on. So what is next? Well, we're next, they're calling this part 6. Hard to believe we're already on part 6. Anyway, there are 2 pieces here that go under the hull that I did not put on yet, and they go here and here. So let's find those. A, 41 and 43. A. 41 and 43, that's these 2 guys here. Okay. Let's just clean these up. Okay, so they go on here, they only go one way. As if I try to put this on this side, it's probably not going to line up properly. No, it doesn't line up properly. So there is definite lefts and rights. There's one. And 2. So there we go. We've got our little details on there now. Okay, so that's done. We can move on. Step 6. Looks like we're going to assemble some exhausts. And so we're going to make 2 of these. Again, we need everything off the A tree except one piece. So let's get the one piece. B27. This guy here. E2. Everything else is coming off the A tree. 44, 46, 48, and 49. Well, there's 44, 2 cams, and 46. Decided to just roll on the floor. Okay. And we need 48 and 49. And that's these little tiny guys. So I'm just going to move my instructions so that I can lay this flat, or flatter. Okay. So those are little pieces. I'm going to change the camera back to the overhead for you guys so you can see a little bit easier what I'm actually doing. And what I'm going to do first is clean these up because they don't look too happy. This one's almost broken. Extremely delicate, that one wants to break, and it looks like this one wants to do the same thing. So these two are very, very delicate. These two are fine. Okay, so we're going to take this and we're going to take this, and it looks like we assemble it just like so. Okay, there's one, and 2. Okay. Now we have these guys and we've got these. So I'm going to actually get my tweezers out here. Because this needs to go down on there like that. Now I could just use the thin set, but I want a little bit of a better bond. Oh, thank you, Lord. Just about lost that one to tweezer fire. Okay, let's grab another one. Now these definitely aren't lined up. They will be. Freaking planes. They will be lined up in a moment, because I need to line them up to put them on this. Okay, so let's see how that's going to go. We have 5 little pegs and 5 little holes. I'm sorry if my head is going to be covering this, but I need to get in close to line these up. They're almost lined up, but not quite. And so I'm going to need my thin kind of like you need to get them lined up as you go around. And you finally get that little sweet spot when you finally got them all lined up, and they're finally all lined up. And it's nice. So that's kind of what we're looking at there. And so that's one. So now let's do the other one. This one might be a little bit easier in theory because these ones aren't trying to break like the other one was. So right off the bat, they're going to be lining up a little bit easier. Okay. And there we go, there's the other one done. Or maybe not. This one needs to get in its hole. There we go. I'm going to add a little bit more just because I've kind of been moving it around a little bit. Okay, and that's the second one done. So I'm just going to check on this one, make sure it's all still nice and solid. I think I'm going to add a little more. Just to be sure. There we go. Okay, so that's those. That's this part done. That's the exhaust. Next is what they're calling the gun travel lock. That's going to be your main barrel lock thing, okay? And our headlight and a jack, okay? So, let's put these here. So, we need B19 and 24. Here's 19. And we need 24. That's this guy here. We go from airplanes to sirens. Noisy day in the neighborhood. Okay, so I don't know if these are actually two halves. They look kind of... No, I don't think so. They are the exact same part. I think I just have a spare because it's two sprues. Two B sprues. And this direction, they want this. Glued on like that. Okay. Okay, do the same on this side. Okay, set that down, let that dry. Now, let's put the jack together. We want A, 38 and 39. These two right here. By the amount of planes taken off today, you'd think everybody's trying to get home for New Year's or something. What happened to Christmas? Okay, so with it in this position, we want this like that. Doesn't really fit, so we want it like that. Okay. We get our little foot of the jack. And there we go. There's our jack. Okay? I want that straight. There There we go. Okay. Then we got our Bosch headlight. It's funny, Bosch. We entered our C trees, C2, 9, and 10. Well, there's 9 and 10 right here. So we need number 2. 4, 2. This little guy over here. Okay. It looks good. Okay, so these two, front and rear of the headlight, go together like this. Pretty straightforward. Okay, and then that's going to go into this piece, so we want it facing this direction and then the headlight facing forward. It does only go in one way, so that makes it easy. It doesn't look like there's a lot of play to it, so it's going to line up pretty good. And that's that. Headlight done. And we're done for this page. Okay. Now we're going to start assembling this stuff. I kind of want to let this set fully. I want to give this a good, hour or so to set these up before I start putting them on there. And I might even just wait until later to do those. I'm not sure. Looks like we've got two different options. No, it's not options. They really bulked up the exhausts on this thing. That's crazy. So I kind of want to wait till I've got some painting done on this. The other thing is, am I going to put the zimmerit on? Okay. I'm not really sure. Okay. So let's talk about this for a minute. I'm not really concerned about making a historically accurate tank. Based on what Tamiya has written up in their front page description of the tank, how this thing came out, was placed into service in 1942. There were replacements of the commander's cupola. The original one was tall and had vision ports with bulletproof glass, but it was a limited view. And then so from July 1943 and onward, they used a new cupola. Then in September of 43, they started adding the zimmerit coating. and the gun travel lock was added to the rear hull. The original had 2 headlamps on the front hull corners. They were replaced with the single headlamp that goes in the middle. Then in January 44, the pistol ports were on the turret side that were eliminated. Large diameter rubber rimmed road wheels were still used, but the outer first road wheels were often removed because of snow and mud. There's all these different things that they did. The Tiger 1 tanks produced from July 43 to January 44 had all these modifications, and they were referred to as the mid-production. So, how much of that do I really care about? I'm not building a model that's going to be going in some kind of a display into the public. I'm not entering some kind of a modeling contest. So all of these little historically accurate features I don't really care about. So why would I put zimmerit on it? Well, I could put the zimmerit on it simply because I've never done it before, and it's a new and interesting thing to try out. At the same time, that might be a big process that I don't really find very much fun, because they want it zimmerit here, zimmerit all on here, zimmerit all the way around the hull, zimmerit on the front here. There's a lot of zimmerit. There's a lot of vertical planes to put the zimmerit on. That's a lot of putty. It's a lot of work. Do I really want to do it? I don't know. I could try putting it on one, and if it's easy, then maybe. I'm not sure. In any case, if we move on down, if I say, let's just hold off on this section here on the back until I've really made a decision on the zimmerit. I could move on. It's not going to be too hard of a thing. Let's just take a look here. If we move on to this extra piece here, that's going to require some of these big flat pieces. Okay. We're starting off with this thing, and we need C17. Is that this one? Yep. C17 is going down on there, and we need to remove this little piece out of the middle there, and we need to add A9 and A7. It's 11. There's 9. Where's 7? There it is. Okay. Now, I don't know if this, well, I have no idea why they have this sitting there in the middle like that. It's not a piece that's going to be used later. It's got some kind of casting on it. 35194. And that's it. So that's garbage. Let's switch back to these. Okay, so, oh, I got nub marks to clean up on this. So, otherwise, she ain't gonna fit proper. Airplanes, airplanes. Screw off all you airplanes. Okay, so A9 simply gets put on over top of that. Done. A7 gets put on the front there. First look at it, I thought it was going to be, you know, forward or reverse or front and back, but it doesn't look like it at all. And then our front panel goes down on here somehow. Is it locked? Ah, there we go. So if you put it in at kind of an angle like this, you get these little side things on the outside, and kind of just locks in like that. So put some glue on the inside. I could put glue along here. It's going to be the same difference. There we go. So that's this. Now back to the zimmerit thing. Seeing in the pictures, they did put zimmerit along this panel. Okay. And so how much of that do I want to put on there? If anything. Am I doing the zimmerit? Am I really fully committing to the zimmerit? I'm going to go with I'm going to try the zimmerit. Okay? You know, with the light in my face. I am going to try it out. So, before I go on any further on the build, let's take a look at what it's going to be needed for the zimmerit. So, I have two different types of putty. Quick type and smooth surface. Okay? Two different types. I kind of like the idea of the quick type. I don't necessarily want a smooth surface. So let's try the quick type. Let's open this guy up. I've never played with this stuff before, so this is very new to me. Got little instructions. You know what? I just realized that's a lie. I just lied to you guys. I have used this stuff. I've used the smooth surface stuff before. this has been opened. So I did use this on the Tirpitz build, on the main guns, filling in for the blast packs on the guns. So yeah, but this is quick type, so this might be a little bit different. So we want to cut them to equal lengths, and we want to knead it together just like it was before. During the initial curing stage, the surface patterns can be added with a spatula or a sharp instrument. So we can use water to help mold it. Okay, so I have to find my little zimmerit tools somewhere. I have them somewhere. I bought them and then I put them away and I don't remember. I've had them for months now and I don't remember what I did with them. It's kind of funny, kind of ironic. I don't even remember where they are. I think I see them. Do. Yes. Zimmerit tools. For doing all kinds of different patterns. This one actually is a wheel, so you can. It doesn't roll very good. Oh, it rolls on there. A slightly smaller wheel, and then these are just different sized things for getting into tighter areas. And that's all it is. So let's try. I'm going to try on the easiest spot right along here. Okay, that's what I'm going to go for. Now, what I really should do is watch Night Shift's channel and see how he did it to get an idea. So I know he puts it on thin, but I don't remember how he thinned it out. I don't know if he rolled it out with a little rolling pin or what. I'm not sure. That might be something to do in the next video. Maybe I should do some research first. That's probably a prudent thing to do. Is do some research first on how to apply this stuff in the least messy way possible. You know, should I get some wax paper out and roll it out and thin it out as thin as I can and then apply it in like little strips or what? Because that is a question I don't have an answer to right now. Let's just take a look here. So maybe that's something that I really should address in part 3. And in the meantime, do a little bit of research. I think that's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do, guys. I'm going to do some research, see how it's done, or at least the best way to do it. And then next time, I'm going to put on the zimmerit. Okay? So, I think that's where I'm going to leave it for now. And call it a day. I did go to my local hobby store yesterday to pick up some colors for this thing. They happened to have the dark green. I already had a dark yellow in my collection of paints, but they didn't have the, what's the third color? Deep red? Dark red? It's, what is the color that they call out for on this thing? Red brown. XF64. They didn't have that in stock, so I've got to go to my other hobby store, and because they almost guaranteed to have it. But yeah, so that's where I'm going to leave it for now, guys. I'm going to do some research on how to apply this putty in the best way, and that will be next time. Alright, so for you guys watching on Twitch, thank you for watching. Thanks for coming out. You can always head on over to my YouTube and watch my videos there. And if you're watching this on YouTube, please hit the like button if you haven't already. And if you haven't done it already, why not hit the subscribe? Yeah, you're welcome, Uala. If you want to see still pictures of the stuff that I've built in the past, you can head over to my Instagram, and I will put links to all that stuff in the description box below. And that's where I'm going to leave it for now and for today. Like I said, I'm going to do some research on this whole zimmerit putty thing, and head over to the hobby store and get some paint, and that'll be it. So, thanks again, guys, for watching. Thanks for coming out. And yeah, we'll see you all in the next one.